Now, always know that you and God, you are not minority, you are majority. Doesn't matter whether these guys are not with you, but as long as God is on your side, who can be against you? And it's God who has the final say within your life. And the Bible goes on to say, whose report shall we believe? We shall always believe the report of the Lord because he has a final say in our lives. And if he has a final say, therefore, it doesn't matter what happens within us. It doesn't matter whether we go through the valley of the shadow of death. We shall not fear because God is on our side. And if God says, you know what, you shall not die, of course we shall live to see his goodness and then declare his works upon the earth. So I pray that may you always be strong. The song goes on to say, who has the final say? Jehovah has a final say. Jehovah turns my life around. He can turn your life around. It's a God whereby he can turn your sorrow into joy. He can turn your ashes into beauty in Jesus' mighty name. And I pray that may God feed your heart. And I pray that may God become your hope within this period, within this remaining month. I know you are believing God. I pray for people whereby you are believing God for the best within this month. I pray that may you see it before actually this year ends. I pray that may God manifest within your life exceedingly abundantly. The Bible goes on to say that we don't have a high priest who cannot be touched with our infirmities. You see, I pray that may God help you within your infirmities. And the Bible goes on to say, to him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you can imagine, according to the power that works in us. I pray that may God work for you. Even he can do whatever you think, because he reads even the mind. So I pray that may you see God within this festive season in Jesus' mighty name. May the helper of men help you to raise that family, help you to see your dreams come true, help you to fight your battles, help you to know that he's there with you, even when you are within a difficult moment. Never give up on God, because he will never give up on you. Don't give up on God, because he won't give up on you. He's able. So God is able to help. He's able to heal. He's able to change. He's able to deliver. He's able to turn your life around for better and then for the best. And he can actually change your life if you don't give up on him. So don't give up on prayer. Don't give up on fellowshipping. Don't give up on trusting and then believing and then having faith in God. This is the victory that overcomes the world, even our faith. And this is the faith, that was, I hope that has helped many people. This is the faith that overcame the heads. This is the faith whereby we are sure, because all things, whatever you need in this life, it comes on the wings of faith. Now, understand this. The Bible goes on to say, and the just shall live by faith. The just shall not live by what the government says. The just shall not live by what the people say, but the just shall live by faith. In other words, you either live by faith or you either live on your own. But the people who actually live by faith, hey, for them to live is Christ and to die is gain. For them, to live, they will always manifest Christ upon the earth. Because whenever you have faith, what happens? Faith can help you actually to translate and then get whatever is within the spiritual realms to be made manifest within your physical realm. That is actually how you can get whatever you want from this spiritual realm, and then you transfer it within your physical realm. So I pray that may you be a woman and a man of faith in whatever that you do, in Jesus' mighty name. We want to see a generation whereby they don't live by what people say. They don't live by what the government says. They don't live by what the civilization says, but they live by what God says, because God requires us to live by that. That is a life of a believer. Faith is a life of a believer. If you don't always live by faith, then how can you even get whatever God has given you within this kingdom that he has called you? How can you even become a partaker of whatever he has promised unto you? Because with faith, we understand the elders obtained a good report. There's a good report that you can get as long as you carry the faith of God. In others, if you don't always have faith, there's no report that you shall get. We want to see a good report upon your life. We want to see a good report that after this person walked with God, like Abraham, that he believed on God, and then it was counted for him for righteousness. So there is a good report that follows you when you have faith in God, when you believe in God. Because also the elders, when they believed and they had faith in God, they obtained a good report. The Bible goes on to say, by faith we understand that the elders obtained a good report, not by their energy, not by their, wisdom, not by their skills, because also your skills, they can fail you. It was Simon Peter whereby they told all night and then they caught nothing. In others, there's a time whereby even your skills, they'll fail you. You might have a boat, you might have the nets, you might even go to the seas to fish, and yet you get nothing. But when the creator of the world, when the creator of the seas come, and then he shall show you where to get a catch. So I pray that may God give you the grace, as you can always have faith in God, because within that faith in God, you shall get a good report. By faith, the elders obtained a good report. And the Bible goes on to say, also Abraham, he was counted for righteousness. It was counted for him for righteousness because he had faith in God. You see that? So when you have faith in God, there's always a good report that you get, a good report from God. And it translates also to people believing in you. In Jesus' mighty name. It all starts with God. In the beginning, it was God. So may you always have faith in God, that if He began a good work in you, He shall accomplish it. If He took you somewhere, He shall actually energize you to your cause. If He sent you into a ministry, He shall actually provide whatever you need, so as you can make it upon the earth and then within that ministry that He called you to do. Don't say that I'm young like Jeremiah. No, no, no. Enough of saying that, I cannot do it like Jeremiah. No, just believe in God, because when He sends you, then He shall provide whatever you need upon the earth in Jesus' mighty name. So I pray that may you always have faith in God, being confident that the God who began a good work in me, He shall accomplish it. Being confident that however much, I've not eaten, however much, I still have debts, but I believe that the God who called me here before, He shall actually see me through in Jesus' mighty name. You see that? So I pray that, the helper of men help you within all your infirmities. Sometimes you feel like giving up. Sometimes you feel like, you want to quit, but don't quit. Don't quit, because God has not given up on you. Don't give up on God, because He won't give up on you. He's able to help you. He has the ability. He has enough potential. That's why we sons of Jacob, we are not consumed. No. We have the treasure we have this treasure in the earthen vessels. The essence of the power might not be of us, but of God. Though we are cast down, but we are not destroyed. Though we are left, perplexed, but actually we are not, God has not given up on us. So may you always trust and believe in God in Jesus' mighty name. Have faith in God in Jesus' mighty name. So I pray that may God help you. He's a helper of men. But how can God help you if you don't have faith in Him? To the people that have faith in God, He does help Him. But to the people that always doubt Him, He shall never actually show them His majesty. The people that have faith in God, they will always obtain the good report, because by faith the elders obtained the good report. And also Abraham, the Bible goes on to say that he believed in God, and then it was counted for him for righteousness. And by that he became a father of many believers. So always have faith in God. Your faith in God, it will actually, translate to becoming, a reality within your life. Because by faith, that's how we can transact things from the realm of the spirit and then bringing them within our physical realm. In Jesus' mighty name. So I pray that, my sister, may you always lean on God. Lean on God. In Jesus' mighty name. Have faith in God, that if He began a good work in you, He shall accomplish it. Have faith in God, that if He sent you somewhere, actually He shall see it through. Have faith in God, that if He's the one who began that ministry with you, oh my dear, you shall see the results from that ministry in Jesus' mighty name. He cannot send you to fish and then you don't get a catch. That's what I know. The helper of men. Have faith in God, that is a helper of men, and He cannot send you to fish and you don't get a catch, and He cannot send you to go and deliver His people from the land of Egypt and then He fails to bring them out. No. Have faith in God, that if He sent you within that ministry, therefore it shall prosper. You shall prosper within that ministry, and no powers of hell shall be able actually to uproot you, and no weapon shall prosper within your life in Jesus' name, because God is your defender, because God is your fortress, because God is your present help in times of trouble. So He's a helper of men. He helps His people. That's why we are not consumed as we children of Israel. We are not consumed because God is there to defend us. God is there to protect us. He has put a siege. He has put a hedge around us, and no weapon fashioned against us shall ever prosper, because we have Him as our defender. Yet though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, but we have a helper, and He's with us. And if you know that God is your hope, God's hope actually surpasses whatever you're going through. It doesn't matter whether in the bed of the fish, God's hope can reach there. So I pray that may the helper of men come to manifest within your life. In Jesus' mighty name. Here we come and see one man was in the bed of the fish, and yet when he was in the belly of the fish, he had to call upon God, Jonah, and then God heard his prayer. It doesn't matter wherever you are, it doesn't matter where people cast you, it doesn't matter, you know what, about your circumstance, but about God who can reach, because he's omnipresent, he's everywhere, and he's omniscient, and then you know what, potent. He's a powerful God. He's everywhere, and then he's all powerful, so he can come and then deliver you. He shall come and save you. He shall come and save you. So he can come and then save you like Jonah. My tomorrow must be greater than today. No matter what I see, no matter what I face, no matter what comes my way, one thing I know, that is definite in my heart. My tomorrow must be greater than today. Your tomorrow must be greater than your today. As long as you learn to depend on God, as long as you learn to rely on God, as long as you have faith in God, as long as you depend on God. Dependable, dependable God. It doesn't matter what comes my way, you still got intentional, intentional God. Everything is working out for my good. So may you always know that everything is working out for your good. And within that valley of the shadow of death, learn to zoom out and see God. Now, the Bible goes on to say that Elisha was somewhere. And then there was a king who had attacked him because Elisha used to reveal the secrets to the king of Israel. And do you know what happened? The king had wanted to destroy Israel, got to understand that there is a man, there's a prophet in Israel who is revealing all the matters that they discuss within their chambers to the king of Israel. And he sent his army to attack Elisha. And do you know what happened to Elisha? Elisha wasn't intimidated. A man was resting. As Jesus was in the boat, he was resting. Sometimes you need to rest and know that God is fighting my battles. Hey, let God arise and your enemy shall scatter. Sometimes you need to be, you know what, be still and know that God is with you. Like the way Jesus was, he was just even sleeping when the storms were boisterous. And yet when he arose, he calmed down the storm in Jesus' mighty name. So always be still and know that God is there. And when he arises, oh my dear, enemies shall scatter. They shall attack you in one way. And yet when he does arise, they shall scatter in several ways in Jesus' mighty name. Is it not written that, you know what, is a God whereby he fights like a buffalo. He fights like a buffalo. And may God fight for you so as you can hold your peace in Jesus' mighty name. Don't be scared. God is on your side. He's a helper of men. He shall strengthen you. You shall overcome. You shall not be dismayed. You shall not be perplexed. You shall not be left in despair. No, 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 no. Trust in God. Zoom out and see God. And when you see God, what happens? Your problems will vanish. When you see God, your problems will stop in Jesus' mighty name. Learn to see God within the midst of your catastrophe. The Bible goes on to say, these are the guys whereby they were cast within the fire, the fiery furnace. And when these guys they were cast within the fiery furnace, oh, when they were there, they were not alone. There was a fourth man within the fire. That is the helper of men. When you have the help of men, that fire will not consume you. No, no, no. It is there to glorify God. That's why the Bible goes on to say, all things work out together for your good. To those who love the Lord. As long as you still love the Lord, whatever you're going through, it is there to glorify God in Jesus' mighty name, to give God the glory. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord shall be raised, exalted above all other hills and the mountains. And the Bible goes on to say, men shall flow to it. And they'll say to one another, let us go to the mountain of the Lord, the God of Jacob, and he shall teach us his ways. Why are they coming to us? Because they have seen our God helping us. Because they have seen God rescuing us from all the troubles that seem to be taking us. And yet God came in Jesus' mighty name. The Bible lets us know that Lazarus died. And Lazarus was a friend of Jesus. And when Lazarus died, we see now Jesus delaying to come even to heal Lazarus. Jesus was a miracle worker. And here comes Lazarus. Lazarus dies. And then Jesus delays to come when Lazarus was sick to the point of dying. And Jesus wasn't coming. But mark you, they were friends. Lazarus and Jesus, they were friends. They were not enemies. And when Lazarus got a disease, he died, and Jesus never appeared even within his times of sickness. But mark you, Jesus and Lazarus, they were friends. And however much Lazarus had died, Jesus had to come and then resurrect you again. Are you in love with God? He loves those that love him. And the Bible goes on to say, because you have put your love upon me, therefore I shall deliver you in Jesus' mighty name. If you always please the Lord, the Bible goes on to say that he shall even make your enemies to be at peace with you. So always be still and know, as long as you are still loving God, all things are working out together for your good, as long as you are called, and then as long as you are still loving God. Be still and know that God will fight for you. Know that he will actually be exalted within your ministry, exalted within that circumstance, because the Bible goes on to say that when the enemy rises a dust, God rises a standard. There will always be a standard because you have the helper of men within your life. He shall never allow the dust to suffocate your life. He shall never allow the dust actually to block your sight. So when the enemy rises the dust, God rises a standard within you. When the enemy rises the flood, God rises a level within your life. Why does the enemy rises the dust and then the flood? Because the dust is there to block your sight. Within the dust, you cannot see anything. Within the dust, actually, you always suffocate. You're not breathing. But when God sees that, he rises a standard in Jesus' mighty name. Let the enemy rise the dust. Let the enemy rise the flood, but actually let God rise a standard within your life. In other words, whatever flood, whatever dust that comes your way, it is actually there to improve God's standards within your life. The higher the standard, the higher the devil. Always know that. Don't be always intimidated by anything. Because when the devil sees you when you are rising to a higher standard, he will actually, you know what, also rise the way he's attacking you. So the higher the levels, the higher the devils. So always know that when the devil attacks you, when the enemy rises the dust and then rises, you know what, the flood, God will raise a standard. Because the more the floods come, the more your boat is elevated, and the more the dust comes, the more God pushes you higher, because he doesn't want you to be suffocated by the dust, and he doesn't want you to be blocked by the dust, because within the dust you cannot see. So God has to raise a level. May there be a standard. When the enemy attacks you, just know there's a standard coming your way. When the enemy rises the dust, just know that God is going to raise your level, and may God raise your level. May you never suffocate. May you never die within that, you know what, sickness, within that flood, within that, you know what, that dust, in Jesus' mighty name. May God raise your standard in Jesus' mighty name. Am I preaching to somebody there? So don't fear. God is with you. Don't give up on God. God is with you. He will actually protect you. So we see now Lazarus dying. No, now we see now Lazarus becoming sick, and then to the point of death, whereby Jesus had not appeared. And yet, mark you, they were friends. But it doesn't mean that Jesus had forgotten about Lazarus. And however much the situation worsened to the point of burying Lazarus, Jesus came because they were friends. And however much he was buried, no. He's a life giver. He called Lazarus, come out of the grave. And Lazarus came out of the grave. And if you know that you're a lover of God, God will actually be there for you, because he has put his love on me. Therefore, I shall deliver you. God shall deliver as long as you put your love. You are friends with God. Because also when you're a friend of God, what happens? A friend that sticks closer than a brother. He's a friend in tough times in Jesus' name. There's a friend that sticks closer than a brother in Jesus' mighty name. So may you always be still and know that God is on your side, and He will protect you, and He will strengthen you, and He will guide you, and He will be with you, and He will actually help you to overcome all the challenges that you're facing within your life. With God, all things are possible. Always know that. So we see now Lazarus being resurrected from the dead. Since when? Because they were friends. 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 If you have friends and then they just move with you in good times, then those are not genuine friends. You need friends who can die People who stay, if it's to die, let me die with this man. Those are what we call true friends. True friends. Even in death, Jesus was there. Now, this story is given. When you go to the book of Mark chapter 5 and starting from verse 25, the Bible gives us, a story of a certain woman whereby she had an infirmity for 12 years, whereby she was experiencing a blood flow. And yet she wasn't even getting made, getting healed. The Bible lets us know she had invested and then, used all her savings. The Bible goes on in verse 26, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing bettered, but rather grew worse. The Bible tells us that this lady who had an issue of blood flow, the lady had an issue of blood flow, and yet for 12 years, she had spent all her living within the physicians, and then she couldn't get any hope. She couldn't get any betterment, and yet she found a man, and she came up with an idea that this guy, she carries something that can help me. This guy carries something that can help me. And when she beheld Jesus, she just took a step of faith. When she beheld the helper of men, she took a step of faith and she touched at the hem of Jesus' garment. And when she touched at the hem of Jesus' garment, what happened? She was healed. It was 12 years, and yet this lady had suffered for all those years without actually seeing any betterment from her blood flow. A lady had suffered blood flow for 12 years, and she had spent all her money to go to the physicians, and then she couldn't get any betterment. And yet, she got a revelation to go and just touch the hem of Jesus. And many people were just pressing on Jesus, and this lady came with faith to touch on the garment. For I have touched the hem of his garment. When she touched like this, the blood flow instantly stopped. For 12 years, it doesn't matter how many years you've been suffering, but if you can just touch at that hem, if you can just commune with God, if you can just have fellowship with God, if you can just have an encounter with God, if you can just have faith in God, like a mustard seed, you can see results. And actually, the power will be transferred within you to the healing of all your infirmities, to the healing from all your troubles in Jesus' mighty name, because with God, all things are possible. I'm the God of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for me? Is the God of all flesh? Is there anything too hard for him? Whether it's a disease, whether it is, an infirmity, whether, it is a bad experience, whether it's a nasty experience, God can help you. I'm the God of all flesh. You are the God that healeth us. I am the Lord, your healer. You sent your word and to heal my disease. You are the Lord, my healer. He's a healer. He's a comforter. He's a God of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for him? He's a God of all flesh. And if you have any trouble within your flesh, he can heal you. The grace can be sufficient for you in Jesus' mighty name. Is the God of all flesh. Is there anything too hard for him? I want to say that nothing is too hard for him. And if you're sick, may God heal you in Jesus' mighty name. If you're troubled, may God heal you in Jesus' mighty name. I declare peace within your life. I declare peace within your troubled life in Jesus' mighty name. I pray that may God reveal his glory upon your life because he's a healer. You sent your word to heal my disease. You are the Lord, my healer. Ancient words, they're ever true. They're changing me and changing you. We have come with open hearts, oh lady, ancient words impart. May God be there for you in Jesus' mighty name. You shall not die, but live to see the goodness of God upon the land of the living. Because it's the God of all flesh. That's why you sons of Jacob, we are not consumed. Oh yes, he is. He's a God of all flesh. That's why we sons of Jacob, we are not consumed. However much we are perplexed, but we are not left in despair. However much we are cast down, but we are not destroyed, because there is a treasure within us. We have a treasure in the earthen vessels. The essence of the power is of God and not of us. That's why we are not consumed. That's why we are not giving up. That's why we are not actually casting off restraint and then casting off the tower. We shall go through the fire and we shall not be burnt. We shall go through the waters and we shall not drown, because God is with us. In Jesus' mighty name. He's a God of all flesh. When you are sick, call unto him. When you're troubled, call unto him. When you don't know what to do, call unto him. He's a God of all flesh. It's not just the God of the spirits. He's a God of all flesh. And wherever you are, you can call upon that name of Jesus, and then you shall be healed. He's a God who can touch you. Touch my body. Touch my soul. Touch my spirit and make me whole. In Jesus' mighty name. Be blessed. I love you. Always know that God is there. He's a helper of men. So this lady had an infirmity for 12 years, and yet she touched the hair of Jesus and she got healed. Doesn't matter how many years you've been suffering. Doesn't matter how many years you've been within that distressing moment, within that, catastrophic moment. But as long as God is there, it shall be well. It shall be well. It is well. It is well with my soul. It is well. Always know that God is on your side. No weapon fashioned against you shall prosper. Always tell yourself that is well with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. With my soul. It is well. Always tell yourself, whether you're going through the valley of the shadow of death, just know that God is with you. It is well. Whenever you are going through that hardship, just know that God is there for you. And all things are working out together for your good, as long as you are the called and then you are the beloved of God. It is well with your soul. However much you're going through the valley, however much you're going through the waters, you shall not drown. However much you're going through the fire shall not scorch you. It happened whereby Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, they were in the fire, and yet God came as the fourth man in the fire, because they had stayed loving God, and they knew it is well with their souls. In Jesus' mighty name, it is well. Be strong. It is well. Martha, Martha. Lazarus can resurrect again. Jesus is there. It is well, because Jesus is the resurrection and life. It is well, my sister. You can raise those kids. It is well, my brother. You can become great upon the earth, because the seeds of greatness, they are within you. God put them within you. It is well, my brother. You shall finish your studies. It is well, my friend. You shall overcome that problem. You shall overcome that sickness. You shall reach your destiny. You shall pay that debt. God shall make you success. It is well. Be strong and know that is God. If He began a good work in you, He shall surely accomplish it. Nothing is too hard for our God. In Jesus' mighty name, it is well. Though sorrow tarries for a night, but joy comes in the morning. It is well. Learn always to tell your soul. Learn to always tell your soul that is well with me. Though sorrow tarries for a night, but joy comes in the morning. It is well. Therefore, when you say that is well, you'll be able to go through that night, and you shall not die, but live to see the goodness of God upon the land of the living, and to declare His works in Jesus' mighty name. It is well, you shall make it upon the earth. It is well, you shall not drown. It is well, that fire shall not actually burn you, but God shall manifest Himself as the fourth man within your fire. It is well, you shall raise those kids, because it's written that your kids shall be educated of God. It is well, you shall make it upon the earth, because you carry the seeds of greatness within you. In Jesus' mighty name. It is well with your ministry, as long as you let Christ increase and you decrease. He shall draw all men to Himself. It is well with your future, because He has good plans for you, to make you prosperous and to give you a good future and hope. It is well, however much you are like a tree that was cast down, but actually it is well because you can sprout again at the scent of the water, at the scent of God's Spirit, at the scent of God's word. You can actually breathe again. The Bible goes on to say that, you know what, these words, they are left to them that have them, and they are medicine to their bones. It is well, God can heal you. He sent his word to heal your disease. He's a God who sees you. Just keep trusting, just keep having faith in him. He sees you. He's a God who sees. He's a God who sees. A woman comes and then she goes on to say, when she was being cast away by Sarah, and you know what she said? He's a God that sees me. He's a God that sees me. Ishmael was about to die, but God saw them. He's a God who is compassionate. It is well with your soul. Be like Bartimaeus, call unto God. He hears. Jesus, son of David, have mercy on me. God can come and have mercy on you. He can show you compassion because he's loving. He's a God of all flesh, and nothing is too hard for him. Trust and believe and have confidence in him. In Jesus' mighty name. Stay blessed. I love you. Bye-bye. Stay well.